Most people eating arugula today are getting almost none of the most important benefit it offers, and the reason has nothing to do with how they buy it, how they store it, or how much of it they eat. It has to do with something that happens before the arugula ever reaches their plate, something that most people do every single morning without thinking about it, something that silently blocks one of the most powerful natural systems your body has for producing nitric oxide, the molecule that determines how well your heart pumps, how well your blood moves, and how much physical energy you actually feel from one day to the next. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what that mistake is, why it matters so much more after 60 than at any other point in your life, and the 3 specific changes you can make today that allow arugula to do what it was always capable of doing inside your body. My name is Dr. Sarah Mitchell, and here on Wellness Daily, this is exactly the kind of information I want you to have: evidence-based, clear, and immediately usable. Stay with me. Let me start by telling you something that most health videos get completely wrong, and I want you to carry this with you because it changes how you think about leafy greens entirely. When people talk about nitric oxide and food, they talk about beets, beet juice, beet supplements, beet powder. The entire functional food industry has built a category around the idea that beets are the king of nitrate-rich foods and the most powerful dietary source of nitric oxide support. That reputation is not baseless. Beets are genuinely a good source, but it is incomplete, and the piece that is missing is where arugula comes in. Arugula contains up to 480 milligrams of dietary nitrate per 100 grams of fresh weight. Beet juice, the supplement that people are spending money on every month, comes in at roughly half that concentration per equivalent serving. The European Food Safety Authority, analyzing fresh arugula samples, recorded nitrate concentrations as high as 4,500 milligrams per kilogram, figures that are simply not matched by any other commonly available vegetable on the market. The same small salad bowl of arugula that most people treat as a garnish, a handful of peppery greens pushed to the side of the plate, contains more dietary nitrate than a dedicated portion of the most heavily marketed cardiovascular supplement in the health food industry. The problem is not the arugula. The problem is what most people do before they eat it, and what they fail to add when they do. Here is what you need to understand about how dietary nitrate actually becomes nitric oxide inside your body. Because this pathway is not what most people think, and it is the entire reason the mistake I am about to describe is so significant. When you swallow nitrate from arugula or any other green leafy vegetable, it enters your bloodstream and circulates to the salivary glands. Your salivary glands actively concentrate that nitrate and secrete it back into your saliva, at concentrations up to 10 times higher than in the blood itself. That nitrate-rich saliva then sits in your mouth, where something remarkable happens. Your mouth is home to a community of bacteria that live on the surface of your tongue and in the spaces between your teeth. These bacteria are not pathogens. They are not the cause of cavities or gum disease. They are a specialized group of beneficial microorganisms whose primary biological function includes one specific job. They carry an enzyme that converts dietary nitrate into nitrite. When you swallow that nitrite-rich saliva, it enters the bloodstream, travels throughout the body, and in tissues that need it, particularly in aging blood vessels with reduced oxygen efficiency, that nitrite is converted into nitric oxide. This is a completely separate pathway from the enos enzyme pathway most people have heard about, and here is the critical point for anyone over 60 watching this today. The enos pathway, the primary cellular mechanism that produces nitric oxide in the walls of your blood vessels, declines naturally with age. Research published in Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise, reviewing the integrated function of the nitrite-nitric oxide system in humans, confirmed that nitric oxide bioavailability from the enos pathway decreases with age. The blood vessel walls simply become less efficient at producing nitric oxide on their own as the decades pass. This is a well-documented physiological reality, not a theory. The dietary nitrate pathway, the one that runs through your mouth, your saliva, and your oral bacteria, does not decline the same way. It remains available. It is not dependent on an aging enzyme in your blood vessel walls. It is a backdoor into your nitric oxide system, one that research has shown can maintain and support nitric oxide availability even as the primary pathway weakens. And after 60, that backdoor is not optional. It becomes one of the most important systems your body has for protecting your cardiovascular health. Now here is the mistake, and once I tell you what it is, you will understand immediately why it matters so much. The bacteria that convert nitrate to nitrite in your mouth, the ones that make this entire pathway work, are killed by antibacterial mouthwash. Not reduced, not partially affected, eliminated. Most commercial antibacterial mouthwashes are specifically formulated to kill bacteria in the oral cavity. They do exactly what they are designed to do. They kill the harmful bacteria responsible for bad breath and plaque, and they also kill the beneficial nitrate-reducing bacteria on the surface of your tongue that your nitric oxide system depends on. Research has shown that the use of antibacterial mouthwash can nearly abolish the rise in plasma nitrite that normally follows dietary nitrate consumption. In one study, participants who rinsed with antibacterial mouthwash after consuming nitrate-rich food showed dramatically lower nitrite levels in the blood compared to those who did not rinse. The nitrate arrived. It reached the salivary glands, it was secreted into the saliva, and then the bacteria that were supposed to act on it were gone. You chew the arugula, you swallow the nitrate, you brush your teeth, you rinse with mouthwash, and then your mouth has no working machinery left to start the conversion. The nitrate passes through your digestive system largely unreduced. The nitrite that should be circulating to your blood vessels, ready to become nitric oxide where it is needed most, is simply not there. The most nitrate-dense vegetable you can eat has just passed through your body without triggering the pathway it was meant to trigger. I want you to picture two women. Both are in their mid-60s. Both are eating arugula 3 times a week, genuinely investing in their cardiovascular health. Both believe they are doing something meaningful with that habit. The first one follows her usual routine. She brushes and rinses with her antibacterial mouthwash in the morning and does the same after lunch, right before she eats her arugula salad. The second woman learned one specific thing and changed one specific behavior. She no longer uses her antibacterial mouthwash within 2 hours before eating arugula. That is it. Same arugula, same salad, same frequency. But the second woman's oral bacteria are intact. Her nitrate to nitrite conversion is happening. Her plasma nitrite levels are rising after each meal. Her blood vessels are receiving the signal. Her nitric oxide system has the raw material it needs to keep working, even as the primary enos pathway becomes less efficient with each passing year. One behavioral change, 2 completely different physiological outcomes. Now let me tell you what arugula actually needs to be paired with, because there is a second layer to this that adds even more to what is already happening. Nitric oxide, once produced, is not permanent. It is a gas. It diffuses rapidly and reacts with other molecules in the bloodstream, including free radicals, unstable molecules generated by oxidative stress that break it down before it can reach and relax the blood vessel walls. This is particularly relevant after 60 because oxidative stress in the vascular system tends to increase with age, meaning the nitric oxide your body does produce is being degraded more aggressively than it was in your 30s and 40s. Vitamin C is one of the most effective compounds for protecting nitric oxide from that oxidative degradation. It neutralizes the free radicals that would otherwise destroy nitric oxide before it can act. Research consistently shows that pairing dietary nitrate intake with vitamin C-rich foods increases the effective delivery of nitric oxide to the vascular system. More survives the journey from production to the blood vessel wall where it does its work. Arugula on its own contains some vitamin C, but not enough to provide meaningful antioxidant protection for the nitric oxide it generates. To get the full effect, arugula needs a companion. And the single most effective combination, supported by the science and practical by any measure, is fresh lemon juice. 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon juice squeezed over an arugula salad provides a meaningful dose of vitamin C alongside the highest nitrate green available. The nitric oxide produced through the nitrate-nitrite pathway is protected from oxidative breakdown during its travel through the bloodstream. More of it survives, more of it reaches the blood vessel walls, more of it signals those walls to relax and open. The result is measurably more effective than eating the arugula alone. And when you add extra virgin olive oil to that combination, you gain a third layer. Arugula contains fat-soluble antioxidants. including beta-carotene and vitamin K, that are not absorbed without fat present. These compounds do not directly produce nitric oxide, but they reduce vascular inflammation, which in turn protects the endothelial cells that house your ENOS enzyme and supports their efficiency even as natural aging pulls at that function. Less inflammation in the blood vessel wall means the cells there work better. The combination of olive oil, lemon juice, and arugula is doing work on 3 separate biological fronts at the same time. Here are 3 specific things to do, starting today. Each one is simple. Together they change what arugula actually delivers to your body. The first change is behavioral, and it is the most important. Stop using antibacterial mouthwash within 2 hours before you eat arugula or any other nitrate-rich food. If you use mouthwash as part of your morning routine, that is fine, keep it there. But do not use it before meals, and do not rinse after brushing immediately before eating. Your tongue bacteria need to be alive and present when the nitrate arrives in your saliva. This is not about giving up oral hygiene. It is about timing your oral hygiene so it does not eliminate the biological system your food depends on. 2 hours between mouthwash use and your nitrate-rich meal is enough time for the bacterial population to recover sufficiently to do its job. The second change is what you put on the arugula. Every time you eat it, dress it with 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon juice and 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, a pinch of sea salt, and a small amount of cracked black pepper. Make this the standard, not optional, not occasional, every time. The lemon juice protects the nitric oxide. The olive oil carries the fat-soluble compounds and adds its own vascular support. The sea salt draws out the cellular moisture in the arugula leaves, which actually helps the nitrate become more bioavailable from the plant material itself. This takes 30 seconds to prepare, and it transforms the arugula from a background salad green into a genuinely functional cardiovascular food. The third change is about what you drink with your arugula. Do not wash it down with large amounts of water or any beverage during the same sitting. The bacteria on your tongue need to be in contact with nitrate-rich saliva. Drinking heavily during a meal dilutes that saliva and reduces the bacterial conversion time before the saliva is swallowed. Eat the arugula first before drinking anything significant with your meal. Give your oral bacteria a few minutes to do their work before you dilute the environment they are working in. This is a small behavioral adjustment with a disproportionate effect on how much nitrite your body actually generates from each serving. Here is what I want you to understand at the end of this video. After 60, your body is not producing nitric oxide the way it used to. The primary factory is running at reduced capacity. That is not a personal failure, and it is not something that only happens to some people, it happens to everyone, and the science is clear about it. But the secondary pathway, the one that runs through your diet, through the bacteria in your mouth, through nitrate-rich greens, does not have to follow that same decline. It is available to you. It responds to what you eat and how you eat it. It can stay active, stay functional, and continue supplying your blood vessels with the signal they need to stay open and flexible and responsive. Arugula gives you the highest concentration of dietary nitrate of any vegetable you can buy in a grocery store. What you do before you eat it and what you pair it with determines how much of that nitrate reaches its destination. Fix the timing, add the lemon juice, add the olive oil, and protect the bacteria in your mouth that make the entire system work. That is the habit. Simple, grounded in real science, and meaningful for your heart, your circulation, and your energy in a way that adds up every single week. If this gave you something real today, take 1 second and give this video a thumbs up. It helps Wellness Daily reach more people who need this information, and that genuinely matters to me. Subscribe so you do not miss what comes next, and leave a comment right now. Tell me where in the world you are watching from, and tell me whether you already use an antibacterial mouthwash before meals. I want to know how many people this is affecting. I read every comment, and every response shapes the videos I make next. There is a video on your screen right now that the people who watch it tell me made a real difference in how they feel week to week. Watch it next. Your cardiovascular system will thank you for the time you are investing here today. This video is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for medical advice. If you have cardiovascular disease, are taking blood pressure medications, or have any other chronic condition, please speak with your physician before making changes to your diet or health routine.